Hi, thanks for watching. I wanted to put together and send over this short video to show you what it takes to not only design a good looking website for your customer experience, but also one that will rank in search results so that it brings in leads and generates revenue for the business. So to demonstrate this, what I've done is a quick search for custom marketing materials, and I just did something that's close to me, and I picked out a couple of the top local competitors here. Looks like Cool Air Creations and Proforma. They're not necessarily quite so local, though they had a listing somewhere in like Attleboro. However, I've taken all three of these websites, these two and your own, and I put them all into this tool that I use, and it shows me all the information that Google finds when it crawls your site that it uses to determine your position in search results, and then rates its strength and trust on a scale of 1 to 100. So you can see just briefly by looking at some of these numbers why these businesses are ranking in the search results. But let me just go through a little bit further detail on what these numbers mean and then how we can improve yours once you have a site that's redesigned. Now, when Google is determining in what order to rank a website, it uses two factors. The first is what's called the authority or trust that it has in your site. Now, this basically boils down to a popularity contest because this authority is gained when other websites or domains refer back to yours and then they create a link. And this acts as an endorsement that Google uses to build trust because others are vouching for you. So to give you an example, if say local Channel 10 News did an article on the top 10 best uh, custom marketing material or packaging companies, and in that article, the reader could click on a link and it would bring them to your website, that's considered one backlink from one referring domain. Now, backlinks can come from a lot of different types of sites, including blogs, editorials, guest posts, press releases. However, one very strong and important type is what's called a citation. Now, that's any time that your name, address, and phone number appear in an online directory. Those include Yelp, Yellow Pages, Better Business Bureau. Most of these directories are free. It just takes some time to find them, register your business, and then input the information exactly as it's shown in Google. So as you can see, based on the number of websites that are creating links back to these companies, why Google is trusting them and has more authority in their site and therefore placing them at the top of the list of search results. However, it is something to note here is it's not just a matter of the sheer quantity of these links. Quality has a lot to do with it as well. So certain sites are more spammy than others, especially ones outside the United States. So we need to find highly authoritative sites that are also relative to your industry so that way they can transfer that trust and that authority through the backlink to your website. Now, the second factor for ranking a website is the content on your page. So if we take a look here, you're being found for about 25 different keywords right now. These are all the words and phrases that are being typed into Google search that Google is finding on your page. And then it also shows me the volume, the number of times per month they're being searched. So this is where we do a lot of market research to find all the highest volume keywords relative to the services that you offer. If you are location based, we also find specific location keywords. Otherwise, if it's national, it's the same process. You're just competing with more companies across the country. So, for instance, if we take Clearview binder, apparently that's a pretty popular item because it's being searched about 2,200 times per month. Right now, you don't have that keyword. It's recently been lost, but let's just say you had that keyword on your page and your page was ranking on the first page of Google search results. Those 2,200 people a month will be seeing your website every time they search. Google Analytics estimates about 10% of search volume turns into a lead for the business, whether it's a potential phone call or a email submission through a contact form. So you could be looking at upwards of around 200 potential leads per month off of this one keyword. Now, depending on what the percentage rate is of customers that actually close and become a job, and also obviously the job profit margin and scope varies depending on the scale of the job, but you can just see how the sheer volume of leads coming in per month can definitely help add to some revenue at the end of the month and at the end of the year. And that's just off one keyword phase. We repeat that same process for all the keywords, like I said, relative to any services or locations you want to offer them in. Now, there is a formula that Google uses to find these keywords on the site. So if we take a look at it here, I know you were interested in a redesign. We can talk about exactly what you would be interested in. But there are options here that are pretty well optimized already. For instance, we want to make sure it is mobile optimized because the majority of people are searching on a phone. So click to call, having a contact right at the top, whether it's a form submission or a button. But the biggest thing we want to look at here is the content on the page. Because Google doesn't care what the layout looks like. Being a computer, it's just going to come in and it's going to count all the words and text on the page. Now, generally, as a rule of thumb, Google is looking for about a minimum of 1,500 words on a home page because it assumes that the more information you have on the page, the more of an expert you are in your field, and then therefore the more likely it is to recommend you in the search results. Now, while it's counting all these words, it's also searching for all those keywords. So any kind of services you offer or areas you may offer it in. Now, this is where the number of words on the page really comes into play because you're only allowed to have one keyword for every approximately 150 words of text on the page. So the more words you want to be found for would be the more content we want to add to the page. Additionally, in order to qualify a keyword, the 150 words of supporting text have to be directly relating to or describing that keyword itself. So if we want to be talking or be found for presentation folders, we need to have 150 words of content talking about folders, not binders or envelopes. That wouldn't qualify that keyword. So looking at the search results, as I said, depending on whether you're just servicing local customers or national, this business profile is where you would show up in the map section. This is obviously geographically relevant, so if somebody is searching from California, you're not going to get pulled up in the map pack here. However, locally there are ways to optimize this so that way you can show up in these top 3 listings through your business profile, adding keywords and maximizing your actual business description. The biggest thing is making sure you're posting on a regular basis to this profile, as well as adding photos. Those photos we want to geolocate. We want to tag them and embed them in the information so that way Google can understand where they're being taken from inside your service area. And then obviously get some reviews, but also a big part of this is citations. Those name, address, and phone numbers, you want to appear in more directories than anybody else on this list. So underneath that, this is what we call the organic search results. Now, this is where the more authority or trust that Google has in your site, the higher up on the list you're going to rank. So this is where getting more of those links or referrals from other websites is going to help you outrank the competition. Obviously, depending on your area or national will determine how many different competitors you have and how many we have to compete with, and that'll also determine how much authority has to be built in order to outrank them. Now, I hope this information was helpful. It shows you how we can scale some of your online presence through the design phase, but also on the off-page SEO to make sure that you're building that authority and you're able to rank in search results. But please feel free if you have any questions. I'd love to speak some more. I'll give you a call this afternoon, and then we can talk more about it. Appreciate it.